Hi there, great that you're watching the Adobe Symposium 2016. I'm sitting here with the founders of the Rijksstudio, Martijn Pronk and Linda Volkers from Rijksmuseum. Mr. Pronk, why is the biggest collection of the Rijksmuseum digital available?
For the Rijksmuseum, it's very important that our firm belief is that the collection is not our property. We are merely the custodians of the collection. The collection belongs to everybody in the Netherlands and therefore everybody in the whole world. And this is why we need to make it available to everybody.
Yeah, because one of the things that stand out that it's free accessible for everyone. So when money isn't the incentive, what is it?
I think that all these images that you can download for free from the Rijksstudio website, that you can collect in your own personal Rijksstudio, so to speak, a little personal museum within the greater Rijksmuseum website, that all these images serve as little ambassadors for the museum, little visiting cards for the museum, little opportunities for the museum to connect with a person somewhere in the world.
Yeah. So can you say that the relationship between the museum and the consumer is changed?
Absolutely, yes. The museum has become much more accessible, much more available for everybody, international.
Yeah. Mrs. Volkers, what is the impact of Rijksstudio for the museum itself? Do you see the numbers of visitors growing?
Yeah, we do, but we're not sure if it's directly related to our digital collection, of course, but we have done this in the belief that we should bring our collection to everybody, and we think that if people know our objects and love our objects and get inspired by our objects, they will come to visit the museum anyway. So it's an indirect goal.
Yeah, and for the future, what's even more possible with the Rijksstudio? Is it even accessible for brands?
Yeah, everybody can make his own Rijksstudio. Everybody can make his own collection, so he can collect his own favorite works of art.
Yeah.
And everybody can, without any restriction, make new creations. And individuals can do that, and brands as well.
Yeah.
And we have an international design competition, Rijksstudio Award, and everybody can join that as well. So whether you're an individual or a brand, it's no different for us.
One of the last questions. What was the biggest hurdle by making the collection digital?
Oh, well, there were a few, I guess. It's a tremendous job. We have a collection of 1 million objects, and we want to make them accessible high-res. So the photography in itself, but also the getting the vision that the decision to make it available to all is not made one overnight.
No.
Because it was very innovative at the time, and you have to work on that. And people ask us, why are you doing that? And why aren't you charging any money? And we don't want to do that. So that philosophy was one of the biggest challenges we had to take, I guess.
Yeah, but where does the money come from? When is the Rijksstudio a success?
You mean the money to fund the whole project?
For example?
The money to fund the Rijksstudio was made available by Bank Giro Loterij, one of the main sponsors of the Rijksmuseum, who have as their goal to make culture accessible to everybody. So you can immediately see the parallel with the Rijksstudio concept. Yeah. And this is why they decided to fund us generously for the whole project. And the income that we get from Rijksstudio is not measured financially, but in branding of the museum, in image of the museum. Yeah. So Rijksstudio has played a big part in making the Rijksmuseum into a love brand. Yeah. Like in the Netherlands, they affectionately call the Rijksmuseum the Rijks. Yeah. And this is, of course, very valuable for the museum as a brand.